Thinking about making some home improvements? Stop, because not all home improvements add value. If you're thinking about selling in the next couple of months or years, you may want to think twice about some of the upgrades you want to add to that house. In this video, we're going to look at 5 upgrades that may actually cause your house to sit on the market longer than you want it to. If you're new here, I'm Brian. Thanks for stopping by. I'm a realtor in Indianapolis. Hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let me know what you think about these 5 home improvements. And if you're looking to buy or sell in the Indianapolis area, drop me a comment or look down in the show notes. You can reach out to me and we'll get in touch. All right, so let's take a look at 5 home upgrades that people want to make to their house. They're excited to make to their house, but in the end, it may actually be a deterrent from getting people to want to actually buy your house. All right, so you have that garage space. You often, park on the driveway, maybe park on the street. And so you're thinking, well, let's just convert that garage space into living space. I mean, people want more space to live in, right? An extra bedroom, well, that's going to add value to the house. Not necessarily. People want a garage for storage or to put their car. Not everybody is looking to park their car in the driveway or out in the street. I mean, people break into cars all the time, or you have possibility of a drunk driver or just an idiot driver who hits your car when you're parked on the street. And so people want a garage to put their car away. All right, well, I've often seen a listing where someone describes that the garage has been converted into a living room or a playroom or something like that, and they add in the tag, it could easily be converted back into a garage. No. None of that is easy, especially depending on how elaborate your garage conversion might be. So don't put it on the buyers to have to convert it back into a garage. Now I understand if you want that living space, maybe it's going to be useful for you. But I'd recommend that before you put it back on the market, you actually convert it back into a garage yourself, because more people, I think, want a garage than want that extra living space. A swimming pool. All right, swimming pool's number 2, and depending on where you live, a swimming pool may make more sense than others. Here in the Indianapolis area, you really only have a swimming pool in usable condition for maybe 6 months, maybe 7. And then you've got the maintenance of it. In the springtime, when you want to open it, you got to open the pool. You got to clean it out. You might call in a professional to come in and take it from its winterized condition into something that's going to be usable for the next few months. And then the opposite thing happens when you get to the end of the fall, before the winter arrives, before it's too cold to swim in the pool, and you have to winterize it. So some of you out there will call in a group that winterizes pools. Some of you I know do that yourselves, and that's all fine and good. Not to mention, during the time that you are using the pool, there's maintenance. There's chemicals that you have to add to the pool in order to keep it usable. You're constantly vacuuming the thing, or you're purchasing equipment that can vacuum it out for you and keep it clean for you, but all of that costs money. When a buyer comes to look at your house, all they see is dollar signs. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people specifically looking for a pool. There are specifically people looking for a house that has a pool, but it's a small market. Many people look at that and yeah, a pool can be a nice upgrade. A pool can be something that is usable, no doubt. But many of them look at it from the maintenance standpoint. And if your pool isn't in good condition, maybe they see that it needs a new liner, maybe they see that the area around the pool needs to be updated. Well, that's dollar signs that they're looking at. That actually comes off the price of your house when you're trying to sell it. Number 3, high-end kitchen appliances. Now, one of the best things you can do to your house is to upgrade your kitchen. You probably get more bang for your buck than that out of most things, because we all live in the kitchen making food. When you have a gathering at your house, of course, a lot of people gather around the food in the kitchen. And so it's maybe one of the most, if not the most, used room in your house. I understand that, and you want things to look nice, and having a nice kitchen actually helps the resale value of your house. However, if you're going to throw in those high-end appliances, look at that one, for instance. understand that you're probably not going to get your money back on that. Statistics indicate you're only going to get maybe 50% of the value of what you spent on those appliances in return when you go to try to sell your house. Number 4 are niche living areas. Now, you may be a wine connoisseur. You love wine, you have a huge collection, so you're going to take a room that maybe you're not using and you're going to turn it into a wine room, or possibly a weight room, or possibly a theater room. You have a basement space that you're not using. Awesome, turn it into a theater. But that creates a very niche market when you go to try to sell it. You have to have someone who is as into wine as you are that's going to want to buy your house with a wine room, because it's not necessarily easy to convert all of that back into regular living space, whether it's into a bedroom or an office or whatever the new homeowner might need. They may have no use for a wine room. They may have no use for a theater room. I mean, those seats are only used by one person at a time. And I mean, how many people want to trek on down to the basement to watch TV? Yes, they do have uses, and yes, it does attract people to come over and hang out at your house, I suppose. But on a usability scale, I would say more people are not looking for these niche rooms than are looking for those. A weight room, well, that depends on how elaborate you get with the weight room. If you have a room that you're using where you have a weight bench and maybe some dumbbells or a treadmill or something, all of those are removable. But take this picture, for instance. They have mirrors on the wall, rings hanging from the ceiling, and elaborate weight equipment that the majority of people are not going to want. All right, before I get to the last one, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Which of these 5 things do you think you couldn't live without, no matter who was buying your house? And if you need to sell your house coming up soon, whether it's the next couple months or in the next year, reach out to me. There's a link down in the notes section to schedule an appointment with me just for a quick, no obligation conversation. Number 5 is elaborate landscaping. Now, I don't have a green thumb. I really have no interest in doing landscaping. And if I personally was going to a house that had pictures like this, where the reality is there's hundreds of flowers, there's this elaborate waterfall or some other landscaping features, I'm looking at that from the standpoint of, wow, that's a lot of maintenance. I mean, I just look at that and think of all of the weeds I got to pull in order to keep that looking nice. There's a lot of maintenance with high-end landscaping, and not everyone wants that. So keep that in mind. I understand that you're maybe a landscaping person and you just want to have something that looks really nice. It does draw attention. Don't get me wrong. It adds nice curb appeal as people come by. But when they start thinking about the fact that they're going to live there and then they're going to have to be the one who keeps up that landscaping, that may actually turn some people away. All right, now with those 5 things, keep this in mind. If you're going to be living in the house long term, and long term I would say would be more than 3 years, it may not be a bad idea to do these things because you're the homeowner there for the foreseeable future. And so you're not really necessarily thinking about resale value and what's going to happen down the line. And honestly, 3, 4, 5 or more years from now, you may change the whole thing anyway. If that's the case, do what you want to do. It's your house, as is the case anyway. But if you're thinking in the next couple months or short number of years you're going to be selling the house, save yourself some money, because these high-end, pricey additions or upgrades to your house may not return the value to you later. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.